Welcome to my Accounting 1120 discussion on plant assets. I have a goal today. You were going to guess that. My goal is to evaluate business performance using the ratio asset turnover. I'm going to back up a little bit. Back to your first chapter in Accounting 1110. Well, remember that? Where we talked about the reason for doing accounting was to create financial reports and pass them to outsiders, external users, people outside of the business. And these people would take our financial reports and they would analyze them and they would make the investment decisions based on it. What kind of investment decisions? Do they want to lend us money? Or do they want to become owners, buy our stock, become a partner? These things are all coming up in the course of 1120. We've been learning some ratios all along the way through 1110 and now through 1120 on how external users can evaluate our performance. And in this chapter, we're going to look at a ratio called asset turnover. Since we've been studying plant assets, the ratio asset turnover is calculated by taking net sales, so sales minus returns and allowances and discounts. Anytime you see the word net, something's been subtracted and with sales, that's what it would be. And we're going to divide that by average total assets. Now, as you'll recall, every time we take and make ratios where you have an income statement number being compared against a balance sheet number, kind of like looking at apples and oranges, because income statement numbers are for a period of time and balance sheet numbers are a point in time. The way we fix that is we average the balance sheet number, and that means we take the beginning total assets plus the ending total assets, add them together and divide by 2. And that gives us average total assets. And what that tells us is for every dollar you have tied up in total assets, how much are you generating in sales? Obviously, the better the number, the better you are. I like this ratio because it eliminates size. You can compare small businesses to really large businesses. Small businesses have smaller sales and smaller total assets. And big businesses are the opposite. Humongous sales and enormous amounts of total assets. Let me give you some facts and we'll calculate this ratio. Let's calculate this ratio for 2016 using this information. Well, our net sales from 2016 are $1,800,000. Our total assets from 2015 are $4,800,000. And from 2016, $5,800,000. So we'll add those two numbers together, divide by 2 to come up with average total assets. And the net sales divided by average total assets will be our number. That number is $5,300,000. Our average total assets, and you know it would be somewhere between $4,800,000 and $5,800,000 because it has to be the average of the two. So what does that work out to be for our ratio? Well, we'll take $1,800,000 and divide that by $5,300,000. That comes out to be 0.339. So what we're saying is for every dollar we have tied up in total assets, we're able to generate roughly 34 cents in sales. A ratio taken by itself is just where you are at a point in time. where they really give an analytical advantage is when you can look at the trend. If you looked at our trend from 2014, 2015, and 2016 by computing this ratio for each of those periods, and in 2014 it was 0.330, and in 2015 it was 0.333, and now in 2016 it's 0.339, you would say that that is a positive trend, and if that continues, that will bode well for this as an investment. And if you compare us to our industry, by looking at industry averages, it'll give you even more light on it. So you look up industry averages in something like Hoover's on the internet, and let's say the industry average has been running 2.880 and 289, and then it fell off 280 again. You would say the industry's been pretty flat. So when you compare how we've been doing to our industry, you get another thumbs up. Ratio analysis is like that. You look at things and you either decide if they make you warm and fuzzy and cold and prickly. This is a way we have of evaluating how well we think we're managing our total assets, how able we are to turn them into sales dollars. Well, I think that that pretty much sums up what we want to do as far as accounting goes. So thanks a bunch for joining me, and we'll talk to you later.